You think he's not thinking about you, right? Wrong. He's thinking about you right now. Probably more than you realize, more than he'll ever admit. And here's the crazy part. He's not just thinking about you when he sees you or when you text him. You sneak into his thoughts in the middle of his day, when he least expects it. It could be the way you laughed last time you were together, the way you looked at him without saying a word, or even something as small as the way you signed off your last message. Those tiny moments echo in his mind on repeat. And here's the secret. Men rarely talk about this, because they think admitting it makes them look weak. But the truth, the quieter he seems, the more his brain is running laps around thoughts of you. If you've ever wondered just how much space you actually take up in his mind, stick around, because what I'm about to share next will show you the hidden signs he's already more invested in you than you think. Ladies, listen up, lean in real close, because I'm about to help you today. See, here's the thing, many of you out here think a man doesn't care just because he isn't saying it every 5 minutes. Or he isn't writing you long love notes, or posting your picture all over social media. But let me tell you something real. Men don't always speak the way you want them to. We're simple creatures. We don't use 20,000 words in a day like you ladies can. Might use about 7,000, and most of those are spent at work. But just because he's not talking much, doesn't mean he isn't thinking about you. The truth is, a lot of times that man is sitting there with his mind running, figuring out ways to make your life easier and better. Now, I already know what you're thinking, but how do I know if he's really thinking about me? That's exactly why I'm here. Over this time together, I'm going to break it down in plain and clear words and show you the signs that a man has you on his mind much more than you realize. And I'm not talking about those movie-style signs with flowers and over-the-top drama. Real love isn't about loud words and flashy moves. It's about showing up. It's about steady action. So if you've been confused, wondering if he's serious, wondering if you're just another option or if you're the one, you're in the right place. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to read a man's actions, how to stop stressing over what he's not saying, and how to appreciate the quiet ways a good man is telling you, baby, I got you. So buckle up, ladies, because this is about to get real, raw, and straight to the point. Let me share something that most women miss, because they're looking at the wrong signs. Men are not wired to talk the way you are. Ladies, you can sit and talk for hours on the phone, at work, in the kitchen, or even standing in the grocery aisle. You process your emotions by speaking. You think out loud. But men? Oh no. We're built different when it comes to communication. We process things in silence. That quiet moment, that pause, that time when you think, why isn't he saying anything? That doesn't mean he doesn't care. Most of the time, that silence means he's actually thinking about you more than you know. Here's the truth. Men express love more through what they do than through long speeches. When a man is quiet, he's not ignoring you. He's working something out, planning something, or holding on to something you said. Maybe he's figuring out how to make that trip happen you mentioned. Maybe he's thinking about how to cover that bill that's been worrying you. Or maybe he's just replaying that laugh you gave him last night that made his whole day. But since he's not saying it out loud, you might assume nothing is happening. Ladies, silence is not emptiness. Silence is often the deepest kind of thinking. Women usually want constant words of reassurance. You want to hear, I love you, I miss you, I need you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to understand, men speak differently. We show love in how we show up, not always in what we say. When that man fills up your gas tank, when he checks the doors at night, when he brings home your favorite snack without you asking, that is him loving you in his language. And let me give you a secret. Men don't like talking just for the sake of it. If we don't have the solution yet, we'll stay quiet until we figure it out. So when you ask him what's wrong and he doesn't give you an answer right away, don't think he's shutting you out. No, baby, he's not shutting you out. He's shutting himself in. He's inside his own workshop, building the answer, building the plan, building the next step for both of you. That's how men work. We are strategic thinkers. A man in love is always calculating. He's thinking about where the relationship is heading, how to protect you, how to provide for you, how to keep you safe and happy. That's why, when he's quiet, you need to learn how to be at peace with that quiet. Stop reading that silence as distance. Sometimes that silence is when the most love is happening. And let me keep it honest with you. If a man is truly serious about you, you will feel it, even in his quiet moments, because his actions will always show it. He'll be consistent. He'll send you a text, even if it's short. He'll call just to check in. He'll make time for you even when he's busy. That's his way of saying, baby, I might not always have the words, but you're always on my mind. So the next time your man is sitting there in silence, don't assume the worst. Don't go building stories in your head or sending screenshots to your girls asking, what does this mean? Instead, understand this. His silence may just mean he's thinking about you, planning for you, and loving you in that quiet way men do. The real power of male silence is not in the words you hear, but in the actions that come after. Now let's talk about one big sign. A man who really has you on his mind will protect your peace. Ladies, let me tell you, when a man truly cares, when you're heavy on his heart and in his mind, one of the first things he does is protect your peace. And I don't just mean stepping up if someone disrespects you. I'm talking about him being intentional about keeping your world calm, steady, and safe, because he knows something. When a woman feels secure, she can shine. That's what real love looks like. A man who's thinking about you all the time is paying attention. He notices what stresses you, what drains you, and what makes you feel cared for. If he sees that certain conversations upset you, he won't bring extra drama into your space. If he notices you had a rough day, he'll either give you space to breathe or be right there with open arms and kind words. That is a man protecting your peace. Protection isn't just physical, even though, trust me, if somebody crosses you, he'll step up without a thought. But real protection goes deeper. It's mental and emotional. He wants you to feel safe sharing your fears, your dreams, your failures, and your wild ideas without worrying about being judged. He wants to be the place where you can exhale when the world gets loud. That's not something he does for every woman. Men don't even consciously understand why they do what they do. When a man really cares, he pays attention to the little things you need. If you get anxious about driving late at night, he'll stay on the phone with you until you're home safe, or even come pick you up himself. If you're feeling overwhelmed, he'll lighten your load, maybe by grabbing dinner, running an errand, or simply reminding you to rest. And sometimes protecting your peace is about removing the unnecessary noise from your life, whether that's negative people, bad situations, or even his own habits. A man who is serious about you will check himself, make changes, and grow, because your peace matters more to him than his pride. Now let me explain something to you. Men don't always use the word peace, but they know when you're unsettled. If a man keeps saying, I just want you to be happy, or I don't want you stressing, what he's really saying is, I see you, I see the load you carry, and I want to help ease it. That is love louder than any I love you he could ever say. And listen, protecting your peace doesn't mean everything will be perfect. You two will still argue sometimes, life will still have rough days, but when a man truly thinks about you and cares for your well-being, he will make sure conflict is handled with respect. He won't let arguments spiral into something toxic. He'll take the time to understand your point of view, even if he doesn't fully agree, because your emotional safety matters to him. When you've got a man like that, you feel it deep inside. You feel calmer around him. You rest easier. You walk with more confidence because you know someone has your back. That, ladies, is real protection. Not just standing in front of you when trouble shows up, but creating an environment where trouble barely has a chance to enter. So if you've got a man who goes out of his way to check on you, to make your life lighter, and to keep negativity far from you, then know this. He's not just in your life, he's invested in it. Because when a man is truly thinking about you, His main focus is keeping your peace safe. Another big sign is that he invests his time. Ladies, let me tell you something people often overlook. When a man really cares about you, the biggest thing he gives you is his time. Not just his money, not only gifts, not even big surprises, though those are nice, but his time. Time is the one thing no one can fake, borrow back, or recycle. Once it's gone, it's gone. So when a man chooses to spend his time with you consistently and willingly, that is one of the clearest ways he's saying, you're important to me. Men are busy. We've got jobs, family obligations, responsibilities, side projects, friends pulling us in different directions, and sometimes we're just exhausted from carrying the weight of daily life. So when a man makes room for you in the middle of all that, not only when it's convenient, but even when it's inconvenient, that's not random. That is him showing intention. That is him showing priority. That is love in action. Think about it. A man who doesn't care will keep you waiting. He'll text only when it suits him. He'll call only when he feels like it. And he'll make plans only if nothing better comes along. But a man who thinks about you constantly will find a way to be there. He'll check in on his lunch break, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. He'll drive across the city through traffic just to spend an hour with you. He'll show up to your events, your milestones, your small wins, and even your tough days, because being present for you matters to him. Now, I know some of you are used to empty promises. You've dealt with men who say, I miss you, but never make plans to see you. Or they'll say, we should hang out, but weeks go by and nothing happens. Let me be real with you. Genuine interest doesn't live in excuses. It lives in effort. When a man is serious about you, you'll see it in his schedule. He'll adjust things, cancel things, and sometimes even sacrifice his own comfort just to spend time with you, to understand you better, and to build something stronger with you. And here's another truth. Time is how a man shows you the place you hold in his life. If he makes time when he's happy, that's good. But when he makes time for you, even when he's busy, stressed, or tired, that's when you know you've got someone who is constantly thinking about you. Because in his mind, you're not just part of his world, you are a priority in his world. Ladies, watch the patterns. Consistency tells the story. A man who's truly interested won't disappear and pop back like a part-time job. He'll show up morning, night, and in between. His presence will become steady, a safe place you can rely on. And that kind of consistency builds trust, because it proves he's serious about something lasting. Here's the thing. Spending time together doesn't always have to be a big event. Sometimes it's as simple as sitting on the couch watching a movie, cooking dinner together, or riding in the car talking about nothing and everything. Those little, quiet moments are where real bonds grow. That's where you see a man's heart, because he's not trying to put on a show. He's just trying to connect with you. So if you have a man who makes time for you, who shows up regularly, who gives you his hours, his attention, and his days, know this. That man is telling you something without saying a single word. When a man gives you his time, it's his way of saying, I'm not just here for now, I'm here for as long as you'll let me stay. And another clear sign is this. He listens and remembers. Ladies, let me make this clear. When a man is truly interested in you, one of the strongest ways you'll notice is that he listens and he remembers. And I'm not talking about him nodding while half distracted or throwing in an aha while scrolling his phone. No, I'm talking about a man who pays real attention to what you say, who stores your words in his memory, and who later brings them back in ways that remind you that you've been on his mind the whole time. Now let me break this down. Men are not naturally the best listeners. It's not that we don't care, it's just that our focus can be selective. We hear so many things in a day, and most of it goes in one ear and out the other. But when a man is invested in you, suddenly he remembers everything. He files away details you didn't even think he noticed, and then out of nowhere he brings it back up. And you're standing there surprised, like, wait, you remembered that? That's when you know he's been thinking about you more than you realized. If you casually mention your favorite coffee order and the next week he shows up with it, That's not luck. If you talk about a book you've been wanting to read and he surprises you with it, that's effort. That's him showing, without words, I hear you, you matter to me. Listening is an act of love. Men may not give big speeches or grand declarations, but when they truly listen, they're showing respect and care in a way words can't always express. Because listening takes focus, and focus takes intention. And when a man gives you that kind of attention, he's letting you know you are important to him. A man who really listens doesn't just hold on to the obvious details. He remembers the small things. Your favorite childhood memory, that fear you've been too shy to share with anyone, the name of your best friend, the way your face lights up when you talk about your dreams. He's watching closely, learning, and storing those details because, to him, they are pieces of the puzzle that make you who you are. And here's the sweet part. When a man remembers, he uses that knowledge to care for you better. He'll adjust what he does based on what he knows about you. If he knows you've had a long day, he won't call just to complain about his, he'll give you space to breathe. If he knows you're nervous about an event, he'll show up early to stand by your side. If he knows you love calm nights instead of wild ones, he'll plan dates that match your style. That's not random love, that's intentional. I always say this, attention equals affection. If a man is giving you his full attention, if he's repeating things you told him weeks ago, if he's putting effort into moments that show he's been listening, that means you're on his mind, long after the talk is over. So the next time you wonder if he's really thinking about you, watch the details. Notice if he remembers that story from your childhood, the way you take your coffee, or that dream you whispered when you thought nobody was listening. Because when a man is truly interested, he's not just hearing your words, he's keeping them, using them to love you in a quiet, steady way that says, I see you, I value you. That's a clear sign he includes you in his future. Let me tell you straight. When a man truly has you in his heart, when you are not just someone he's seeing for now, but someone he imagines in his real life, you'll hear it and feel it in how he talks about the future. Men don't just hand over pieces of their dreams to anybody. If he's talking about tomorrow, next year, or 5 years ahead, and you're right there in his picture, that's not casual. That's deliberate. That's his way of saying without the words, baby, I see you in my forever. Here's the truth about men. We are planners by nature. We think about building, providing, and creating something strong. So when a man begins to include you in those plans, it's one of the biggest signs he's thinking about you more than you know. He might drop little hints without realizing it. He'll say things like, when we take that trip next summer, or when I buy that house, we'll need a bigger kitchen. He may even joke about kids or bring up financial goals. And all of those words have one thing in common. You're in the picture. And don't get it twisted. Men don't do that with just anyone. If you're only temporary to him, those conversations won't happen. He won't talk about trips, family, or what life will be like 2 years from now. But when you're in his heart, you're in his vision. And that's powerful because men guard what they build, and they build what they truly value. Including you in his future isn't just about big talks either. It shows in the small things. He'll ask you questions like, what city would you want to live in someday? Or, if you could design your dream home, how would it look? Those aren't random questions. That's him gathering information. That's him saying, I want to know what you want because I plan to create a life with you in it. When a man is serious about you, you'll see his choices start to change. He'll save more, think long term, and make decisions that show stability and growth. Not just for himself, but for both of you. He's not only dating you, he's preparing for you. That might mean working extra hours to secure the future, focusing on self-improvement to be a better partner, or setting limits with others so he can give you his best. And let's talk about words matching actions, because that's where many people get confused. A man can talk about the future all he wants, but a man who truly means it will prove it with steady actions. He'll bring you to family gatherings. He'll introduce you to close friends. He'll share the important parts of his life because he knows if you'll be in his tomorrow, you should be present in his today. That kind of inclusion gives security. You stop wondering if you're just a phase or someone filling time, because everything he does shows you're part of his base, not just an extra. And that is one of the strongest, clearest signs a man is thinking about you more than you realize. So when a man starts saying words like we, us, and ours instead of just me and mine, understand he's not just making conversation. He's revealing his vision. He's telling you, I don't just see you for now. I see you for later. I see you for always. Don't miss those signals. Let me be real with you. Some of you are out here missing good men because you're focused on the wrong signs. You're waiting for fireworks, dramatic gestures, or some picture-perfect love story. And because of that, you don't see the quiet, steady ways a man is showing he cares. Let me tell you, love doesn't always arrive wrapped in flowers and fancy dates. Most of the time it shows up in the little steady actions a man does day after day without even noticing. A man can think about you morning, afternoon, and night. But if you don't know how to see it, you might convince yourself he doesn't care. And you know why that happens? Because sometimes we let society and social media decide what love should look like. We get too focused on picture-perfect posts that we miss the real truth. The text that says, "Did you get home safe?" The way he checks your car so you don't run out of gas. The way he remembers your coffee order without asking. The way he protects your peace by checking on you when you go quiet. Those are signs, love, real signs. When a man truly likes you, he's consistent. He doesn't just show up when it suits him. He puts in effort to understand you, support you, and prove you matter. But if you're too busy chasing noise, waiting for constant big words or dramatic displays, you'll miss the treasure right in front of you. You'll miss the man who's loving you quietly in his own way because you're tuned to the wrong channel. Here's the truth. Men aren't complicated. We do what we want and we show up for the ones we want to show up for. So if that man is calling, texting, showing up, giving you his attention, including you in his plans for the future and protecting your peace of mind, believe me, that's not an accident. That's effort. And effort is the clearest sign of love you'll ever see. Too many women miss out on great men because they expect love to appear in a certain way. They want it loud, dramatic, and obvious. But real love, healthy love, grown love, it's calm, steady, and reliable. It's in the small things he does every single day that build trust and safety. It's in the way he comes through when you're not feeling well, the way he listens when you're stressed, and the way he stands by you when you're going after your dreams. It's not about what he says only, but how he proves it with his actions. You have to train your heart and mind to notice these things. Watch closely how he treats you, not just what words he throws your way. Does he make time for you even when his schedule is packed? Does he check in just to truly know how you're doing? Does he listen carefully when you talk and remember the little details you share? Those aren't just casual habits. They are deliberate choices. Choices that quietly say, you matter to me. I want you here. I'm thinking about you. Don't let those signals pass you by just because you're caught up in expectations that aren't realistic. Love doesn't always scream. Sometimes it speaks softly. And if you're too distracted, you might overlook a man who is doing everything possible to show you that you are his priority. The real key is learning to value consistency, to admire effort, and to realize that love isn't about who says it the loudest. It's about who proves it every day in both small and big ways. The truth is simple. Actions don't lie. Let me leave you with this thought. Love isn't as complicated as people try to make it. When a man truly has you in his heart, when he's genuinely thinking of you deeply and regularly, he will show you. It may not look like a scene out of a Hollywood movie, but it will feel safe, steady, and real. Stop searching for the noise and start noticing the quiet actions. Look at how he protects your peace. Look at how he gives you his time. Notice how he listens to you, remembers what you say, and naturally includes you in his tomorrow. Those are the true signs. Those are the things that matter, and those are the things you don't want to miss. Because here's the bottom line. Words are easy to say, but actions always tell the true story. And when his actions line up with his words, you won't have to second guess his feelings for you. So, next time you start wondering if he's really thinking about you, pause and step back for a moment. Look at the overall pattern. Does he show up for you? Does he make you feel heard, understood, and valued? If the answer is yes, then my dear, you've got something rare, something beautiful, something worth holding on to and building with. Love doesn't need to be flawless to be real. It only needs to be consistent. And when you learn to recognize these quiet but steady signs, you'll stop doubting, stop overthinking, and start truly appreciating the man who's showing you every single day in his own way, baby, I got you.